podcast here. All right, but I was just saying, so now they have podcast apps that AI can take our voices. It'll be my voice and your voice, change it to a different language.
Oh,
So
cool.
it's you talking German. It's you talking Japanese. It's actually you though.
Yeah, that'd be super good for reach though, because like what you could do, 'cause I know like what's his name, Mr. Beast. He has like loads of different like YouTube channels where like he'll translate like it to Spanish or translate. So like in terms of your audience, you'll be able to grow in different like countries you never like thought. So like within like for example, we have powerlifting, like let's say with the French lot, they used to have like their like French powerlifting is really big. So like the influencers there are like really popular, but we have no idea. They might have like 20K plus people on YouTube, never
Oh
heard of
yeah.
them. And then you could basically just take your shit now, just translate to French, dump it over there.
And yeah, 100%. That's Penna's superpower is that he speaks both French and English. He even speaks Greek. Like that's a superpower. I mean, he could
Speaks Greek as well.
blow up. What's that,
Fuck it
sorry?
hell. Didn't know you speak Greek as well.
Dog, he's Greek. He's so his dad is from Greece. Um, Penna, I think I'm not sure if he was born in Greece or born in France,
Yeah.
but Penna's background is Greek.
Okay.
Panagiotis. That's what it's actually Greek, but I think he's at least raised in France. But people are on me in the YouTube comments. They're like, "You got to get these new apps that splice in between who's talking." Like the video editors, the app itself, AI will just do all your editing for you. So I already bought the app. Now I'm gonna
I'm
figure out
just
how
about
to
to see how
use
it
it.
goes.
But
Yeah, that'd
if
be
it's
super
easy,
cool, man.
if it's easy, it's easy. I don't know. I'll take this one. I'll
Test
take this
out.
one. I'll throw it in the app and see if it works. And we'll see. I don't know, Doug. I got another podcast. I got a podcast later today with Rory Lynch, and we're talking about, Sheffield, the new card with Sheffield being yourself, being Alba being added, and talking just like powerlifting in general. And Rory's pretty good with this stuff. So maybe I'll ask Rory to take a look as well, and maybe we'll figure it out, man. We're
Yes,
leveling up, man.
you're like, yo, I did this little thing. What do you think of it? He's like, yeah, what we do this? What about this? Yeah.
Well, even honestly, just taking a look at the app, it can't be that hard, but someone could streamline it and you save time. Because I got a normal day job, busy as fuck. I'm flying out tonight, like 2:30 in the morning. I gotta wake up for my day job and like, man, I'm fly all over. Like I'm operations manager, account manager, get looking for a really real day job. So I'm like, time is of the essence, my man. I can't BS around. And I'm reposting and podcasting and flying around the world doing commentary. So it is what it is, man. How about look at I was first off, soon as it was announced, I was like, it had to be you. It had to be you that was gonna get this. We'll backtrack it,
Yeah, yeah.
but how pivotal was you getting recognition for that world record now?
Yeah, like, 'cause I think, like, to be fair, because I've been getting peppered because people are telling me I was going to be me, but I wasn't sure. 'Cause even when I was on the podcast, I was like, I don't know if it's going to be me because of like with how everything went. I was like, I was just thinking about like the criteria, like would I actually count and not. But I was like, people were like, oh no, dude, like have some faith. I was like, yeah, well, I don't know. It's out of my hands. I'm 50-50. And then I got it. I was like, because even like Kajal messaged was like, well, I was like, because I was thinking I was going to get reserves, but I was like, yeah, I don't know about that. So he was like, told you. I was like, all right, fast.
You were watching what's going on with Bob then? Did it
Yeah,
get to
yeah.
you that Bob was already saying he's pulling out? Like, were you thinking like, oh my god, he's pulling out, or
No, because I think I messaged Bob and had a chat with him about it because he was like,
really?
yeah, because I was trying to convince him to do it. I was like, because
Oh,
I'll
to
be
go
yourself.
or pull out?
No, to do it, like,
Oh,
because he was still telling me that he wasn't really too sure. He was like, I think you'll probably get my spot if I'm not doing it. And I was like, yeah, but I was like, why not you doing it? Because I was like, no, like, what do you mean you're not doing it? I was like, dude, you should do this. Like, respective of
100%.
like me getting or not, like, it's like Sheffield, like, it'd be super cool to do just for like my content record, getting into it, like, just where you're like, just connect with the IPF audience, that kind of thing, like, especially because you're USAPL, like, this would be super huge. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't do it, even in regard to like not being an SB athlete. And obviously, you have your own brand you want to represent, but like, irrespective of that, like, you're gonna come away with like so much of a bigger platform. I don't see why it wouldn't be worth doing it. So like, but he was just like, yeah, that's not my. I'm not very that bothered because I've got my focus being nationals and whatnot.
He's a totally different dude, man. He his goals and his like certain things that would appeal to everyone else. Like he's talked about it before, but like world titles, world championships, etc. He was content to stay in the USAPL, even if the viewership, which did dwindle right down. He was like, yeah, but if the guy that I want to face is in USAPL, I'll go USAPL. He doesn't. He totally unique guy, Bob. You know, Marcellus came on is like, man, Bob is totally unique the way he looks and prioritizes things and whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah,
Like I myself think like most people would be like, yo, I'm gone. Like that's crazy. Sheffield is the greatest of what do you at least single day. Look at worlds as worlds, right? But for single day event, my God.
no, it's totally different. Because I was there last year, so I was watching it. So I was like at the top, I could see it. I was like, this is like a legit like. I don't want to say like because obviously I've been to powerlifting meets, but it's like this is like a totally different experience. So it's like actually getting to compete there is like it's like a whole like it's like let's say like usual like you got local meets here, then you've got I'm trying to see if you can see me. Local meets are here, national meets are maybe like here. Depending on national meet, could be up here. So national meets are like here. Then let's bring all the way back down, and Sheffield's like here. So it like skyrockets everything else you're going to be able to view and watch, and like just getting to be part of that is super huge. So I was like, dude, like, are you sure? Like, because I've seen this in the flesh, like it's crazy.
It feels like a legitimate professional sport because it is. Like there's money and the money involved that lifters can win is finally getting into some decent money. And the actual atmosphere when you're there, like
Yeah,
when you go to a baseball game, basketball game, whatever the heck, like these are North American sports, but insert whatever sports big around where you're at. It feels like that. It actually feels like that. It feels like, holy shit, no, I bought a ticket. I'm showing up to see my team play. That's what it is. So that's why, like, to as athletes in powerlifting, very few people are going to feel that. So to get to that point, that's why I'd be like, you want to, before it's all said and done, and God knows how short athletic primes are and how quickly people emerge, and all of a sudden you're not making it. You can't get that far in the game anymore. To feel that experience of having thousands of people show up, eating, drinking, like just there's concession stands, people just like normal sports. There's people drinking booze and eating food and yelling on the top of their lungs, standing, booing referee calls, just like real sports. That's what we see in real sports. They make a call that they don't like, and they're like boo, and like
yeah.
signs and like it's amazing.
Who's it? Was it who's no? Because it was it Gavin's? It was like did it get overturned? And then people were like boo or something was like no, I think did it get what happened again?
Jesus,
Someone like was it Jesus?
I think so. What I think Gavin. I think it happened for Gavin too. God knows Gavin's had his fair share of squats overturned by
Yeah,
man. But Jesus's. Do you remember Jesus's last deadlift?
oh
And it
yeah,
looked like the jury. This is when Jesus won, and it looked the first year, and it looked like the jury was going to overturn it. Looked like it, and everyone stopped and looked, and the crowd was like, Jesus, Jesus, it started woo. And then when they didn't overturn it and it became good, or I think they even overturned it too good. I'm trying to remember. Maybe it was bad, and then the jury jumped in and overturned it to good. Anyways, the crowd interaction. When you got like 2,500 people all together in that theater is built for sound, right? It's a theater that you could have a freaking opera in. So it's built for sound. So when 2,500 people all together boo or all together cheer or all together chant a name,
oh
it's
yeah. Tony had a
freaking
sick chant last year, yeah, because I think yeah Tony Cliff did it. So yeah, Tony had a chant from us, which was actually quite mad.
I mean it's Tony Cliff.
Yeah,
Here's what's going to be interesting because it's you and Jurins, right? This is your home country. In the UK, stands behind their people. Like the UK, like big time. Look, when Germans beat Russ at Worlds, I swear to God, everybody with a British accent was all over me. And I'm like, listen, I am not Russel Orhii. Why are you coming at me? But they're like,
No, no, but to be fair though, I think the reason why it hit so hard is because of like it was like Jesus' speech, and it was like the US is
oh,
coming for everybody. That's
oh,
kind of what ignited everything. I can't lie. That was like it was kind of like you basically said, yeah, we're just gonna get swept. Like you can't have that. What do you mean?
yeah. Well, yes. You know what? I'm glad he made the speech because it got people fired up. It got people into it. It created a storyline. And Jesus knew I'm going to create a storyline. Actually, I talked about it on when I was doing the live podcast at Worlds. And Jesus is like, regardless whether we sweep or not, it's going to create an excellent storyline for everyone to talk about. Sports storyline. Beautiful. And he did. But Matt Gary, who was the head coach going in, was like, I'm not going to say that because that's putting pressure on individual lifters. And Jesus was good, he was a solid favorite to win. But there are other people who were in very close battles. It's like, dog, you're
Yeah.
putting a lot of pressure on me.
Yeah, because it was
Like,
like, yeah, I think it was 60, yeah, 66s was like, yeah,
yeah,
it was like a free for all. 93s was like a
dog,
free for all. It's like, yo, those guys, like, yo, dude, like, we're on neck and neck here. What you doing?
take it easy. I'm fighting for every kilo. Like if I don't make it, it's one thing if you're in a super close dog fight. And if you don't win, but it's just on you, that's fine. Like it's gonna hurt. It's gonna be difficult because everyone wants to be a world champion. But at least you could be like, all right, whatever. But if everyone else in their divisions won and you didn't, you're like, oh man,
It's like you're the one who cost the
yes,
sweep. Yeah,
I broke the sweep. It's on me. Like, thank God more like a bunch of Americans didn't make it. But that's pressure. And that's what Matt Gary was talking about. You're going to rally everybody up. The rest of the world is going to be like, oh, hell yeah, we're going after the Americans. Like, you get a W over an American, you're not buying drinks that night. Everybody's buying you dinner
it's
drinks,
crazy.
and it puts a lot of pressure on the lifters that are got some really big dog fights in them. But having said all that, so Sheffield in the UK stands behind their lifters big time. But in this originally in the Battle of the 83s,
Yeah,
it was Jurins, obviously, and
yeah,
the house was going to go wild for Jurins, obviously.
yeah.
What's going to happen now?
I feel like it's gonna be a mix, really, because I feel like I think either way, like, because I've got like my core people who like me, so like I think I'll be set with them. And then, but I think in terms of GB, it'll mostly just be both of us. I don't think it's gonna be a thing of like boo me and then hooray Jurins or hooray me and then bull Jurins. I think it's gonna be a thing of like because it's like I don't think we've had two Brits being in. No, we have, but on the men's side, I think we've had two, but it's only been one. I think it was Mo first time, Tony the time. We've got two of us, so I think it's gonna be like there's more of us now. So I think it's gonna be like whole house going crazy.
I think they'll think you I think yeah, I think they'll feel like the deck is stacked. One of our guys are gonna they're gonna cheer for both of you and be like, we have double the chances of winning this head to head. We got two chances here. Whoever it is, whatever. They'll cheer you both right to the very end, but they're like, oh hell yeah. That like it's a 50 of the four-way battle, 50% of it is Britain. I mean, that's good. That's good odds. That's good odds.
Yeah,
And both of you, one of them's the reigning record holder, one of them's the reigning world champion. That's good. That's good odds. That's good odds, man.
well,
Can't
he
ask
was
for
so good.
more. How but so when you first came on, I was like, how pivotal was it? You didn't even realize when you were doing Western Euros just how important it was. It ended up being a world record. And you thought leading into it, it could be a world record. Then found out can't be a world record. Then at the event, it gets announced, hey,
No,
that was a world record. And you're like, oh shit, okay. And then you get told after the event, nah, wasn't a world record. And then flip flopped again like a week later. Nah, okay, it's a world record. And you would kind of come to terms with it being a world record, not being a world record so many times over. You would come to terms with it and accepted whatever it's going to be. Just please land on a decision and hang there. But you had no idea. A world record's amazing. Your place in history is there in our sport forever now. Someone will break it, but you had a piece of it. But you had no idea at the time that flip flopping and which way you would land. If that didn't become a world record, we're not even having this conversation about you being at Sheffield, huh?
No, I don't
How
think
close it
so. I
was.
think what'd you say?
That's how close it was.
Yeah, because I think like even, but I think also the drama like made it like more of a bigger deal, and I think that's also kind of
Yeah.
helped this because it's like people are kind of intrigued. Ended up on Reddit. I was like, people are talking about Reddit. Like that's crazy. Like
Yeah.
people are having formal discussions about this on Reddit, and like luckily no one said anything mean. Everyone's been super positive. I'm like, that's crazy. End up on like, especially when you end up on Reddit. Reddit's like where like you kind of go to die. Like people are gonna roast you, so like you're
Yeah.
getting grilled. So the fact that I haven't been grilled on Reddit is like a huge sign. Like, okay, cool, fair enough. Like I'm doing something right here. Um, but man, I'm super excited for this. Like it's great. Like running the numbers and everything in front of, I'm super just like hyped for what's gonna happen because I feel like it's going to be a really like really good grade free showing. Like in terms of, I think it'll be better than 93s last year if I'm being honest, because I think like because of just how much we can probably push this, I feel like it's gonna be way better than 93s was last year, and that's a huge thing to say. But I feel like where everyone probably is going to be, I think it's going to be super great to watch.
We have, okay. We'll talk about that. I do want to get into like when you found out you're going to Sheffield, etc. But let's talk about this for a sec. Because you're saying it's probably better than 93s. I agree. Coming into 2024, um, the world record, well, Delaney broke the world record with 842.5.
Yeah,
The 483s that are going to be at Sheffield. There's four of you guys.
yeah,
Every single one of you guys is 845.5 and up. I mean, all you guys. So coming into 2024, that's what the record was, and Delaney broke it at Sheffield. Next Sheffield, four guys. It's insane the level of the 83s are at to have four of you and Tim Monigatti, God bless, moving back to 83 and a light 83. He was like 81 point whatever kilos, doing 845.5. By the time Sheffield rolls around, he won't be 81 and change. He'll be a full 83. He'll
yeah.
probably be 84 point something and cut. He for sure can add on 10 to 15 kilos and also be 860 and up.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Can you, what do we, okay, let me ask you right now.
Oh, this is exciting, man. Yeah,
Like, okay, let me throw this out here. Bob going into Sheffield, if he was going to go 120 because he doesn't want to cut to 105 if possible, even
yeah.
if it's a little cut, he wasn't going to. Him lifting on his own at 120, I mean, it's great to see him lift. He's a phenomenal lifter. He's truly a great talent. But him at 120 by himself, or you four at 83, who potential of all four of you going 860 and up. I mean, dog, if you're going to trade, that's a hell of a trade, man. That is a hell of a trade. And it had to be you. Bob himself said, I mean, you got to give it to Ade. You got to. Quick question of you four,
Yeah.
how many of you go 860 and up, do you think?
This, I think I had this discussion. I was like, I think all of us can really. I think it's not even a thing of, because Russ has done it before. Obviously, he's done it like nationally. He's done it internationally. But again, like strength wise, his ceiling's not higher than that. So like and then Jurins training is going really great. Although he's hiding it, bloody bastard. He's not showing anyone. But like I know it's going good because he's posting what like last one up. So like I know where it's kind of trending. So like again with him, I can already see like 870, I think, around there. Obviously he's not going to like openly say that himself, but like with how things are going, I can see that happening for him. And then Tim as well. Tim's got ages really. He's got 3 kilos. 3 kilos. If I had an extra 3 kilos, dude, fucking hell, I'm slapping on a good 30. Like so. That's what I mean. Like everyone I think goes over 860. I'll be very surprised if they don't. Yeah, because I'm planning to go all over that. So if they don't, it's kind of long days. But yeah, I think it's gonna be super great.
Yeah, you do. It's crazy to say, think the sport changes so quickly. But before 2024, you would never think this. But at this point, if you don't do 860, Delaney was on the podcast. He just got quoted by Powerlifting America. And he said, if you don't do 865 next
Yeah,
year, that's the bottom. No one's talking about you. If you don't do 865, you're just showing up to have fun, and that's crazy to say. But here we are. And at Sheffield, I 100% agree. I think all four of you are probably going over 860. The bigger question is, what's the top end?
So like I think because I've openly said mine because I like see this is a fun topic because I think just chatting about whatever everyone thinks they're gonna be and whatnot. I think like top end wise, I think I can see 878, 80, but that's where I think generally people probably will end up. But I don't think that's enough to really podium. I think just based on how where, but obviously right off Kajal because Kajal's just too far ahead. Like Kajal's he's to lose. He's showing up smiling. He's moonwalking, taking his money. He's like fuck everybody. just thanks. So like, and then I think second and third is where things get a bit dicey. Where like the spot opens up for us to kind of podium. I think realistically, I think 880 to 900 is what you'll need to podium, but that's depending on how Perk does, Kasim, Ash, Jesus. I think they're probably like favorites to probably podium, in my opinion. And I think close to 103, 104 over, I think where it'll probably be. I think to get there, we need around 880, 900. But realistically, I think where most people probably would be is maybe 870, 880. And then if you can break past that, then like, yeah, you're in the money.
It's crazy because the 93s just entered the 900s. And now we're talking, and it's not just you, there are other 83s in my DMs. I can't drop names. They said it privately, but they're talking 900 kilos next year. Are you thinking 900 kilos is within your reach next year? If not Sheffield, next year at some point?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Because like I think even like I was planning because I was planning to try and do it by Euros, which is in March, if not by Worlds. So I think the breakdown for myself, I think I've said this, it was like 317, 202, and then like 380 gives me 900, and that's like in terms of training numbers, that's like 7 kilo PB, my triples in training for squat and bench, and then like about 12 on deadlift. So it's like it's not a huge amount to add on for me anyway. So like I can see myself doing that like pretty soon. It's just the only main thing is obviously not getting injured. That's kind of killer for anybody. It's like if you can stay injury free for a good like 3 blocks or 5 blocks, you could do it. And then Joe's in that range as well. I'm there. Delaney's trending really well. Delaney's not far off either. And then I'm not sure where Russ is in terms of like the 900 total because he's not really posted too much because he's rehabbing. But in terms of like, I can see myself, Joe, Delaney possibly doing that next year.
Well, first off, the Delaney question mark, he really is trending high. In SBD rally meet was not a great showing for him in terms of what his full capability is. Like 840 is a
Yeah.
good total, but he's done more and he's capable of, I think he's going to be doing a lot more. And he was saying he's coming off of injuries. Last Sheffield, he was heavily injured. Um, the Raleigh meet, he was better, much better in terms of injury. And he was shooting high, so he missed a couple lifts, and it is what it is. But I think he's closer than everybody might think. He's not cooked, as they say, like he's not done.
No. Dude scored 327. Like, you know what I mean? If you add up his subtotal, yeah, like add up his
Dude,
subtotal.
solid.
Yeah. And then he did a little snippet of, I don't know, he's not posted it, I think 355 on deadlift. You add all those up, like, what is it? What are we talking here? 890? I'm like, the hell is this? Like, so.
He's capable, man. He's right up in the hunt. The US and Britain have some killers in the 83s, though. It's going to be a bit of a bottleneck who can make it to the world championships. Amongst the Sheffield 83s, who do you think has got the biggest progress coming into Sheffield?
Oh, dude, that's me, man. That's me. What do you mean? It's me. I was like, that was a softball question. I was like, who do you think? Nah, it's me. Like, in terms of rate of progress, I progress a lot faster. But again, with me, the only main thing is just staying healthy enough not to break. Because I progress really quickly, but at the same time, like if I push it too fast, someone's gonna give. So I just got to make sure like I don't get a bit too greedy, especially with Sheffield on the corner. Like because if I can load it, I probably will load it. But it's about like pacing myself not to like get too greedy. Because once things start going, I'm like, let's load everything on here. Like fuck it, let's go. But I think just making sure I can like pace myself well should be good.
Day of the event, priority wise.
Yeah.
Let's say you come down to your last deadlift.
Yeah.
And first off, you're pulling last with among the 83s, right?
Yeah.
Like, can you see a situation where you're not pulling last?
Nah, because I've got the biggest pull, like in terms of, well, again, unless Jurins is sure he's hiding something from us and we ain't seen nothing from him, I don't
Yeah.
know. But as it stands, I think I'd be pulling last out of the other 83s, bar Jurins. So we'll see.
So you're pulling last. Let's throw this scenario out for you. You have one weight that'll secure you winning the battle of the 83s. And my friend, this is the greatest battle of 83s we've ever seen. This is a world record holder, a world champion, the 83 GOAT, and Tim Monigatti, who's medaled at Worlds both as a 74 and an 83. This is an all-star cast of 83s, the greatest battle of 83s the sport's ever seen. You can load a weight that'll, and this is going to be yours because you're pulling last, that you hit it and you win the battle of the 83s. Okay. Now, the handler also tells you, oh, by the way, if you throw 5 more kilos, just 5. No, fuck it. Let's say 2.5 more. You throw 2.5 more kilos. You can also podium at Sheffield, collect a bag, whether it's third or second. Which one do you prioritize? Do you say it
Oh,
means
dude,
more to
that's
me?
easy. I'm
Tell
loading it up, like, because now I think I've because I think who did I chat to? I was chatting this about with Mo because Mo was saying obviously try and win like the battle of your weight class first, and then from there try and like test placings. But I think the main thing is like screw the battle. The battle's great, but if you can podium, you'll win the battle. So I think it makes more sense to focus on podiuming because if you can podium, you'll win the battle.
However, in this scenario, like you're right, sure. But
Yeah,
in this scenario, you risk winning the battle to
yeah,
podium. Like there's a top end.
yeah,
Eventually, 2.5 kilos, 5 kilos is what breaks you at the very top end. So you are risking winning the battle. You could lift less and solidify the battle. The greatest battle we've ever seen. Or you're risking it and you will risk it. You'll be like, fuck it, we're risking.
yeah. Because it's because again, like you obviously, it sucks to lose, but it's like in terms of it being Sheffield. Because imagine you do podium and you win the battle.
I mean, it's
That's even
amazing.
better.
Right. For sure. To podium at, and that's one of the accolades on Delaney's resume that he points to. He's like, I got world titles. I was at Sheffield. I broke a world record. And podiuming at Sheffield, when you have a cast like that, podiuming is like one of those things that I didn't just show up and participate. I was on the podium at Sheffield. Sheffield, my friend, which is
Like,
crazy with that.
bro, everyone there is a killer. Like everyone is sick. So it's like to fact to podium, obviously, like winning a battle in your weight class is great, 100%.
Mm.
But you've got all these other guys like who have been world champions. Then you're beating them as well. I think that's a no-brainer. I think like the battle's great, but if you can podium, yeah, screw the battle because they ain't there. Do you know what I mean? What if the person wins? Okay, but again, but if they won it, but let's say like because they won it, they still didn't get to podium. You could have podiumed, but you gave that
Maybe,
up. Do you know what I mean? Nah, it's like I
maybe.
think it makes more sense.
I wonder, and I'll have an opportunity to ask you guys. I'm going to be at Sheffield working it, but I wonder if all the other 83s feel the same way and will prioritize by loading up more. Especially, put it this way. Let me ask you your opinion.
Yeah,
Jurins is in the same spot.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say his final pull, you're going to pull after him, fine. But his last pull, they're loading up and they estimate where they think you're going to be. And they already know, let's say Jurins is pulling second last. So they already know where Tim and Russ is. What do you think Jurins chooses when he has that conversation?
I think with how Jones and Christian will probably go about it, I think they're probably more like trying to load what they're probably more like trying to load what he has, or more so prioritizing winning the battle opposed to
Yeah.
because like in terms of obviously like career wise longevity, it's a thing of like he's at the stage where like he's like cementing his legacy. This adds to that where like I'm still kind of starting off. Like even if I don't win this, I still might get another shot the following year. Whereas like with him, it's kind of like taking as many of these things to add on to like the to add on to legacy, leaving their sport. Like winning the battle is huge. Do you know what I mean? Because like
Well, here's okay. For Jurins, honestly, I think, and we'll find out soon. Jurins will listen to the podcast and let us know. I can just hop in his, we can both hop into his DMs and ask. But I think he might actually prioritize getting onto the podium if he thinks it's within reach and it's reasonable. I'll tell
really,
you why. I'll tell you why.
okay,
I'll tell you why. I think he already won a head-to-head showdown with Russ. That's his. That's in his back pocket. It would actually behoove him to say, I am now, and I think he's actually has said, it's not me and Russ. It's me and Russ against everybody. And him walking in with that narrative actually takes a little pressure off of him. Because if he pulls for podium misses and Russ beats him in the battle, there is that, hey, look, that's great. Russ, you beat me in the battle. I was a I was going head to head with you. I was targeting everyone else. So you didn't so much lose to Russ or lose to you or lose to you're going against other people. He's already
yeah,
got the win on Russ. He already went head to head with Russ and won.
yeah,
So in his position, it actually makes sense to target. Like you're going to double up on something you already did. Of course, this battle is different. It's the greatest battle of 83s ever. So winning it's big. But to an extent, he already beat Russ head to head. It kind of makes
hasn't
sense.
beat
I
me
guess
head to head. Hasn't I think he hasn't. I don't think he's beat him head to head either.
you're right. Well, like it is a different battle. It is a different battle. I can just see that when you're the reigning world champ, to change the discussion that you lose in a battle of 83s, it's easier to change because you're the reigning world champion. You don't want to be the reigning world champion if someone else is talking about another 83s better than you. And if you lose a battle of 83s, what do you say? Like, then it becomes valid, that discussion. So, in terms of what you're throwing on the line, you might be like, look, I'll defend my world title at the world championships. That's when you guys get to say you're better than me as an 83. I'm going to view this comp as me versus everyone else, and I'm trying to podium. You could see where that narrative is like almost
Mm.
win-win, right? Like it's less to lose, anyways. Put it that way. But maybe he's like, nah, hell no. I'm the world champ and there's too many 83s here. This is crazy. There's four of you guys, first off. And he might be like, you guys are not allowed to show up here and say you're number one. You got to take it from me. I am prioritizing winning this battle. Maybe. Um, but it'll be interesting. I would not. I could see a case where it would make sense to go the opposite route. I think like I probably would. I'd go the other route. I'd be like, no. You guys want the number one spot? I'll see you at Worlds. I'm champ for a year, not 6 months. I'm champ for a year. As
Yeah,
far as I'm concerned, I'm here for this reason. You guys can do whatever you want. But that's the way I'd. Also, let's talk about Russ though. If you're Russ, which one do you think he's prioritizing?
uh, you see, I would like the way I framed it with Jurins, I'd frame it the same for Russ. I feel like in terms of how I think they'd approach it, although that could be wrong, I think they'd probably approach it first of like cementing the 3-1 and then going for everyone else afterwards. Because again, it's like with especially after the upset, you kind of want to put that nail in the coffin, like, hey, he did beat me the other time, but like it was only because I missed the squat. Or it's
Mm.
like I've got way more to show. So you want to like cement that, okay, cool, I should have won this, or like I'm a lot better than you think I am. And then once you've done that, you kind of move on to like, cool, what's everyone else saying? Like, where you at? So I think that's why I think Jurins and Russ will approach it. I could be wrong. Whereas with myself, I'm kind of like, it's great, but I'm trying to podium, so I'm not too fussed with what they do. So, yeah, that's why I think though.
So I think this one I agree with you on. I think Russ, opposite of Jurns.
Yeah,
Russ is like, hey, I still remember when you beat me. That stings. I have an opportunity to right that wrong in front of all the Brits in your home country. I set it straight. Just with the 83s, Russ entered 2024 as the king of the 83s. That like, I mean, Delaney was world champ, world record holder, but Russ, his shadow is so big because he is who he is. He enters 2025 in an entirely different situation. He doesn't have the world record. He doesn't have the world title. He doesn't have the biggest total. He has none of those. I don't even know where we rank him at this point. He's not number one. He might not be number two. He might not be number three. It depends on who you're asking. Russ is like, what am I, a top five guy now? Russ is probably going to tell himself, in my estimation, I'm not doing this for like if the podium's there, fine, but I am prioritizing. I'm going to win this battle and right that wrong and get revenge. That's what I think.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, especially with a competitor he is, I think it's more so that he'll take it quite personally. So I feel like he's gonna like really want to like put the nail in the coffin. But hey, you do you, because like I
No,
think
so it's wild you're not looking to win the battle first. But I hope this doesn't end up you miss your third pull by just so little, and we're all talking about the next day. Like, damn it.
nah. I think if like because how I look at it is like if I podium, I will win the battle. So I think it makes more sense to just shoot for that and then see where I end up. If I can't, if I'm not close enough to podium, fair enough. But I think if I shoot for that, it's kind of like shooting for the stars. If you don't hit the stars, you end up somewhere up there.
On the moon.
Yeah, I mean, so that's what I think is worth doing. So if I shoot for that, work my hardest to get that. Even if I don't get it, I'll still end up if I shoot for 900 and I miss my third, I'll stand up at 880. That's still huge. If I miss a deadlift, I take 15, 17 off. I'm still like 880. That's still massive. You know what I
Would
mean?
be it's going to be an easier decision for everybody if podium and winning the battle is a big spread where it's like, all right, like the podium is 20 kilos more. And you're like, wow, that's too much of a jump. We're just going to win the battle. That'll make it all clean and easy. But I'm not sure. I haven't
Okay.
crunched the numbers, but I got a feeling it isn't going to be clean and easy like that. I think the decision is going to be tough. And anyone doing handling, and I'm going to get into this also with you in a second here,
Yeah.
but anyone who's handling any of you guys, because the money changes and everything once you start moving up the rankings, whoever's doing the game day coaching needs to have laid out all of these scenarios and had all of these discussions ahead of time. This cannot be done in 60 seconds. A lot of money, history being made, everything. You need to really work out all scenarios and be like, where you at? Don't get mad at me if we do this. Like, you need to let me know. Who is handling you? Have you made that decision yet? Even
Yeah, I'm sorting out because I'm sorting out with Jason Coleman, because he handled me previously when I was a junior, uh, junior worlds and also Euros. So he handled me then. So I just asked him because he's always like he's a great handler. So obviously I asked him. So just kind of sorting out with him what he's thinking and then kind of going through there. Might get an assistant coach as well, but because like in terms of like because obviously I coach myself, so I do all my numbers and everything. He just kind of needs to handle well, so he needs to kind of trust that I kind of know what I'm doing. And also in terms of like scenarios, I've got everything like kind of mapped out and like where I think everyone's going to be, like where I think I'll be. So it's kind of like, and also like I've got all the DL and also got all the world records on there. So he just needs to kind of plug everything in. So I think in terms of we've had a discussion about what my priorities are, and I've just said like my thing is trying to podium, like and trying to podium and also getting the deadlift world record if it's there. So if I can hit those two things, I'm happy. Everything else is kind of irrelevant to me.
And what do you think about Tim? Do you think Tim's interested more in winning the battle, or do you think if Tim's in that position of opportunity, he's like, oh my gosh, here we are?
No, I don't think Tim cares about winning the battle. I think Tim most likely cares about trying to place as high as possible. Because again, he wouldn't go up weight class. I think with him, it's more like this is Sheffield. I'm trying to maximize my placing. I don't really care too much about the 83 battle. Like I'm trying to do what's best for me. Like to because otherwise he wouldn't go up a weight class. It's like with KOTL as well. Like he went down because he's trying to maximize his chances of winning.
Mm. Where do you think Russ is in terms of this? What are you expecting from Russ? Worlds, put it this way, walking into Worlds, if he was going to get upset, it was going to be at Worlds because he had been, so dominant for so long. But we can't, we're not going to catch him sleeping anymore. He is turned on as turned on gets. He's as motivated gets. We had a podcast and he was looking at the clock, being like, guys, I gotta go. It's getting too late. I gotta start shutting it down, getting ready for bed. Like he's 100% about powerlifting now and cutting no corners, etc. So there
Yeah.
will be no catching him lacking. What are you anticipating from Russ? Where do you think he's at? And what do you think is going to happen with him?
So I think I'd put him in the same kind of like bucket I'd put Jurins in, where I think I'd see that 87, 80. I think obviously it's probably higher with Russ just because of what he's hitting training, like not hitting training, hit previously at meets and also where his numbers are at. It's also a lot lighter now. So I think what you'll probably do in training will translate a lot better. So I think and also his bench is training really well as well.
Mm.
So if you can put together like a 330, 197, like a 345, he's an 870 ish. That's pretty comfortable. I can see him doing that. But 870 ish doesn't scare me because I know I can do more. So like I'm not like because my thing is trying to get as close to 900 as possible. Unless you're chasing that with me, I'm not that worried. If that makes sense.
Oh, God, that's gangster, but it's true. You're like,
Like
if
if I
you're
can
not
hit
jogging,
like so like wherever anyone does, I'm calm. Like if I can see, like they're right there with me, then I'm stressing. I'm like, hey, cool, like I need to do something. But like I know what I'm chasing and what I'm trying to do. Like if I can achieve this, it doesn't matter what you guys do, I'm all good.
you're like, my finish line's 900. If you're not jogging beside me, I really don't care what you guys are doing behind me. You, you know, you
That
can see my
sounds so
back as I hit the
cool when
finish
you put
line.
it like that. That sounds brutal, man. But I don't know. It's not. I'm like I don't. It's not even like in a dismissive way of like, don't get me wrong, like I know it's gonna be tight, I know it's gonna be tough, but like I'm chasing this because I'm trying to maximize podium spots. And if I can hit this, it's like I should be clear of everybody else. But if I don't hit this and it's a lot closer, then it's like, okay, cool. Now I need to think about like because if training obviously guys, I'll know where I'm at like by the block before anyway. If things aren't like trending towards that, then it's like, okay, cool. Where's everyone else at? Now let's try and maximize like where I'm gonna place, how close I am to everybody else. But if I'm in my scenario I want to be in where it's like I can do this, you guys do what you want. I'm calm.
In terms of Russ, motivation wise, where do you rank him? How do you think he is mentally coming into this after everything that happened? Not only did he take a loss, everyone was cheering that loss. He was like, are you guys happy I lost? It impacted him. He admitted, like, it's the way it happened. And now he's coming into Sheffield, into Britain. And not only does he have to face Jurins in Britain, now there's another Brit there. And it was the British at Worlds. I know you weren't there physically, but it was the British at Worlds who were letting people know the most that Russ took that L and were dancing in the streets. It was,
Oh man.
what do you think
Oh my
he's at
god.
motivation wise and mentally coming into this?
Nah, I think like he's fired up, man. He's proper like on it. Like he's like, yeah, dude, like this is it for me. So like so I don't know if I should be scared or not, but I'm pretty calm because I'm just like um unless I don't know, unless something gets posted where like, dude, like everyone's trying to chase 100 as well, like I'm pretty settled. But I think he's like proper on his gay game. But again, like I think with what's the word? Like I think with him and with Joey and stuff, like I feel like they're already always good anyway. I think even though like things kind of go like things didn't go the way they things didn't go the way they wanted. Whereas the thing of like I feel like their level of like on it is usually already really really good, opposed to most people. So like most people are in a situation where like powerlifting is what they do full time, right? Like with me, I work as a data analyst. Like I work a day job. Like I powerlift as like a side quest. Like it's not my main thing. So it's like I'm not gonna be as nearly as locked in as you will be. So it's like in a situation where it's like I get it, like you're even more locked in, but your usual not locked in is far more than are locked in. You already have the advantage anyway. So it's like how much more will change? I don't know. Like obviously they'll probably fix different things, but I don't think it's going to be that hugely different. Obviously, you be more motivated to hit your numbers in training, that kind of thing will probably have an impact on how well you progress. But I don't think in terms of like, so maybe that'll affect your readiness, but I don't think it'll change too much because how much more locked in could you be when this is your full time thing? Do you get what I mean?
I mean, it's a great point. First off,
Yeah,
um, if you got to work later, you got things are going to come your way that you have to address, and you still don't have a choice. So that night's training session is what's going to get impacted, not the day job, not the. It's just the way some things are going to work out for you. So you're right in terms of that. But can you imagine being the number one for 5 years straight, even if you show up injured and you're like, holy shit, if I'm going to lose, it's now. And you still win by 20 kilos. Like you heavily hyped showdown with Sean Noriega and the whole Candido saying Sean will beat Russ.
oh yeah,
And
that's
and
crazy.
then you still
Yeah,
win and you keep winning and winning and winning. And then eventually it's not so much when you show up, you're not going to do like your subscribed 5 sets of triples. It's not like you're only going to do 4 sets of triples or you're only going to do doubles because what it won't be that. It's just when you show up at the gym, the feeling of I need this and the amped up. And you know when you're amped up, it makes a difference. I've seen people miss lifts, go get their shit right in their head, come back and smoke it and be like, you leveled up, huh? You got the intensity up, you got the adrenaline up, you're like, fuck, let's go. And if like you fought for it, the feeling that's what's going to be the difference with Russ now. Going into Worlds, I think he's very respectful, so he might not outwardly say it, but there were people saying try to win, but try not to win by too much because you
yeah,
need that record low, artificially low for Sheffield. If you're actually even thinking, I need to try to win, but not by too much, you actually think that you can
you
win
are,
by having your foot half on the gas.
yeah.
You can't tell me that won't impact training when you're like, yeah, I could probably win the kilo. Like it just
Do
is.
I need to do
You're
this extra set? Maybe not. Do I need to increase it
yeah,
by 2.5? Nah. But I get what you mean. Like the intensity is going to be a lot different, and obviously, don't get me wrong. Like you'll progress more with that intensity. But I think looking at it from a point of view, like your this the way your life setup is. So if you look at a life setup of like a Kajal or you look at a life setup of like Jurins, where it's like Kajal doesn't train until middle of the night.
right,
He's getting 6.5 hours of sleep.
right.
It's a thing of like, no matter what he does to progress or optimize his life, he's going to be nowhere near as what Ross can do to elevate his life. Do you know what I mean? Or like elevate, like set up his life, where it's like he can maximize how quickly and slow he can go. And so it's like if he's already had that, I don't get me wrong, you have the loss, but it's not going to change too much other than like your general like atmosphere training. Obviously, that will greatly improve things, but I don't think it's going to be this thing of that's going to like suddenly like just send you to the moon because you should already be having that because of the current life setup. Do you get what I mean?
I think with his lifestyle and
Yeah,
now the motivation, it's going to be good. It's going to be nothing, but it's going to be great. So we'll see. We'll see how it turns up. How about Jurins? Where do you think his motivation is at? He's, I mean, his late career turnaround is like the Cinderella Man story that you hear in boxing with James Braddock But I don't know if you're a big boxing fan, but they made a movie about him. But that term is used often for athletes that turn it around late stage, and I mean turn it around and win the title. Braddock
Yeah,
won the title, and it's crazy. That Cinderella Man story for Jurins for years. He was in 2018 World Championships. He's been around forever, and he was just kind of there. He wasn't like in the hunt to win it. Even in 2024 Worlds, he said, I was showing up not thinking I was going to win it. He didn't know he was in it to win it until the deadlifts. And then obviously he won it. Massive win. One of the biggest moments in IPF World's history, period. Any year. I mean, it was a sensational win against a megastar in Russ who was returning, having been gone for a couple of years. I mean, it's huge, huge. Where do you think his motivations are coming into this? Because now, as opposed to being the underdog in all the pressure's on Russ. I don't know. Is he still the underdog? He says he's the underdog. Is he the underdog? And how does he approach this? Do you think he's telling himself, like, this is mine to lose? Like Russ, it's hard to walk into a competition like Russ was at Worlds. This is mine to lose. That's a different mentality. I just, to set the stage, I know I'm talking all here to explain this question,
yeah,
but
yeah,
to lay it down, I read a lot in terms of athletes, especially combat athletes. And
yeah.
Randy Couture, the UFC champ, said, I was coaching a guy and he was ahead on points in wrestling. And instead of telling him what to do, I told him what not to do. I was like, you're ahead, just don't get taken down. And what fucking happened? The guy got taken down and then he
Yeah,
lost on points. And what happens is when you're ahead, the pressure is to not lose when you're ahead, when you're the front runner, when you're the guy. And that's a whole different type of pressure. Some people don't like it because all you're thinking is don't lose, don't lose, don't lose, which is a negative. The loss word is in there.
yeah.
And when it's yours to lose, it's a different situation. It is entirely different. Some people don't like it and the narrative around it. Whereas when you're on the come up, it's different.
It's a lot
It's
easier.
pulling off an
Yeah,
upset. It's victorious. It's whatever. Endurance, it's very unique because forever he was the underdog, and now he's the world champ. Now is he still the underdog? How do you think he is coming into
I
this?
think in Jurins because I called Jurins uncle man because he's like I see him like an uncle. He's Congolese. It's like an African thing. I feel like with Jurins, like I think with Jurins, like I know like he's not gonna openly like say because he's pretty calm, normal guy, but he's African. You've got like a little bit of pride with it. So I feel like because he's the champion, he's not gonna be like oh, I'm the underdog. Like in his mind, he's already beaten him, or like he's done what he. So I don't think he's gonna. He might not openly say it, but just by knowing, I feel like he's gonna go in like he's the favorite. He's not super fussed about the rematch. He's trying to like cement things, but also like what's the word? If the opportunity's there to like cement it, he will. But I don't think it's going to be a thing of like I don't think he sees himself, even though he might say it. I don't think he sees himself as the underdog. Like, so I think he had said that he thinks he's doing it, but I don't think he truly believes that himself.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
think.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah, I mean,
He
for sure.
might say it, but I don't think he truly believes that. Like,
It's,
because with Jurins, you get glimpses of who he really is. With Jurins, you don't get it too often, but you get little glimpses where like his actual who Jurins is shows up now and then. Like his pride will show up here and there, but you got to be waiting to see it. Like I know what you are. I know it.
hey,
But he's like he's happy, smiling 90% of the time. Like 95% of the time, he's smiling. But you'll get that little glimpse of like I know what you are. Like you
hey,
just like
look, yeah,
wrestlers. Yeah,
he's a
yeah,
lion. I've hung out with Jurgens like good and plenty in international meets. He's a lion. And yeah, I mean, what you say and how you feel could be two different things. And, and also it's a psychological game as well going into this. So you don't want to reveal all your cards and everything either. Another part I almost forgot to bring up, but I'd be remiss if I forgot this. It's going to be
yeah,
part of the storyline.
yeah,
What do you think about Russ's squat depth? Do you think this is going to be an issue? Because here's another thing. Some people at Worlds were saying the previous world championships that Russ was winning in 2019, 2021, you needed depth, but his depth has gotten worse, not better over time. And the powerlifting international stage standard has gotten tougher, not the same. So
yeah,
they were saying it'll always be an issue. It's the way Russ is built. short, stocky, whatever the heck, right? I'm not trying to make excuses for him, but they're saying it is always going to be an issue. And if he hits depth, his squat weight will come down. He'll get that 860 at home where they're not going to call him on depth like that. But a questionable on the border call internationally is going to, is either his weight on the squat comes down, or which he's going to fall behind, or he's probably going to be on the margin and vulnerable to the jury and the refs on the platform. What do you think about that?
So I think with my opinion of him as an athlete and knowing how fired up he is with it, and also like with how him and Joey have gone about approaching things now, I think they'll fix it. I don't think it's going to be an issue because like I think he's competed internationally for so long. I think he's had 9 for 9 days. I can't remember how many, but I think it's like with all the things they're looking at to fix, I don't think it should come up. Obviously, the weight might come down, but again, like if you can squat, I don't know, upwards of 340, 330 at home, maybe it comes down by like 5, 7.5. If you can't squat 340, you squat 335, you squat 330. That's still huge. Do you know what I mean? Even though like he got the 328 that he's missed, it's not like he was like super high. Bet it was a bit high, but he's gotten a little bit more. You know what I mean? I don't think that's like that great of a change to make. I think like because you need to be a little bit objective. Like you might, let's say, you might not like somebody because you don't like them. You then want to bring down their efforts or like try to make things a lot more hard than it needs to be. Like whether or not you like someone as an athlete, being objective to be like, cool, this is how this is their approach and this is what they've done. Because of this, I think it'll be fine. It shouldn't be an issue. Like I don't see him missing at Sheffield on depth because of how much it's impacted him and obviously the price of what it has. I think he'll fix that, but it shouldn't be that big of a fix. Do you get what I mean? Like it shouldn't be like it's going a bit deeper. Maybe you change from flats to heels. You try a different variation. That's a super easy fix to make.
Yeah, I agree that he's on the line, borderline. You could scrutinize it, but it was close. I mean,
Yeah,
some people are talking, and I think you're right. Some of these people are looking to talk
yeah,
negatively,
yeah, yeah.
but
Like
they're talking like it's miles high. They're talking
it's
like it's a
not.
problem that can't be fixed. Or this is close. These are close. Like they're overly criticizing. I agree. I don't think it's a major thing, and I think if he goes 3 for 3 in squats,
Yeah,
hopefully he does, because I think the excitement will level up. Everyone will know if Russ goes 3 for 3 in squats, the battle. Holy smokes, we got ourselves. But if he goes 2 for 3, not that he's out of it, because other people will miss lifts and things happen, right? But if he goes 2 for 3, I think in a lot of people's minds they'll say he's out of it. They'll be like, "Well, you can't," because they saw Worlds and they think 2 for 3 Russ doesn't win this. So even though he could, for a lot of viewing people, they'll be like, "No, no, we've seen that before. Nope, he's going to need all 3. It's too close."
yeah. But even then, even with the battle that he did lose, like it wasn't that he lost. Like it was like a very close battle still with the miss. And you could argue maybe you could have loaded a bit more
Mm.
on deadlift, maybe push bench a little bit more. Obviously, Jurins could have added more on his deadlift. He could have probably pushed the squat a bit more. But it's a thing of like going 2 for 3 doesn't mean the game is over. It just means it's a bit closer. Like 3 for 3 is like, okay, cool. Like I'm a bit further ahead now. Like it's now up to me not to mess up. Whereas like 2 for 3, it's like it's not the best situation. As long as I keep going, I can still be push upper lifts and make up the difference. But it's not this thing of like, oh yeah, 2 for 3, it's over. It's not.
So this is kind of some of the stuff I actually wanted to get into talking to you about. This has been a crazy ascension for you in terms of the speed. Now I know you've been doing powerlifting for years and you were 74 and whatnot, but I mean in terms of going from entering, we talked about Russ entering 2024, and everybody's like, Russ is the number 1 guy by a long shot. He wins by like 20 kilos every year, blah, blah, blah. And entering 2024, people outside of the UK didn't know who
Didn't
Ade
know who I
was.
was. Yeah, yeah.
Entering 2025, everybody knows who you are. I mean, everybody knows who you are. And in terms of the amount of battles in moments that Tim Monigatti has been in so many battles now at this point, different weight classes. Jurins has been in world championship since 2000. I know he's at 2018. He might have been even in before that. And obviously Russ as well, right? So for yourself, do you think, because you weren't even at Worlds yet, talk about talk about rounding third base. This is a North American term, baseball, but you're rounding third base without having hit first and second base. The pressure and you know, if you had had a couple years build up, maybe it alleviates a little. You've been in some battles. Okay, more of the same. You, my friend, are going 0 to 100 real quick. What what do you think about this? And you're saying, look, if I miss a lift, it's all good. It just knocks my total down. It doesn't day's not over. But when you're there, is this gonna be a factor?
So like I think with me how I approach competitions, like I don't get super nervous because I'm very like analytical and like very like level headed. So like it takes a lot for me to get nervous. So like even with like me being like, oh, no one knows who I am, no one knows who I am now coming in, it doesn't really change anything for me. Like I think it's how I see it. It's just I just need to make my lifts. If I make them, it's good. I have a good prep. If I make my prep goes well, then I'm close to doing this. I'm very like it's not that deep. Like it's calm. Like I'm chill regardless. Like I don't get super like amped and stressed. I just get more. I get like I think I do get like meat. Like obviously I know get close to meat you might get a bit nervous. Like oh this is gonna go well. But I think I get those jitters like maybe a couple weeks. Then after that I get more excited. So if anything I'm more I hype to like see it through. Like I want to kind of see what happens. I'm more excited to see everybody. Like I just want to compete and have some fun because like training all this stuff is the hard bit. Like the meat is like it's just I'm there to have some fun. Like I'm there to just kind of show up, showcase all the hard work I've done. But I think in terms of needing time to prepare, like I kind of see all because all my meets don't really feel that different to me because like I kind of go into autopilot mode where like I don't remember most of them. It's just I've done my training. If my training goes well, my meets are gonna go fine. So I don't like I think on the day I'm just kind of enjoying myself. So like I don't really panic or have um I'm very like ice cold. If that makes sense. Yeah.
This one, yeah, oh, I got you. Like this one will feel different for sure, but if you're regularly relatively calm, it is just weightlifting. That's easy to say when you get in there, and it's going to be a moment. It'll be a life moment, no question about it.
Yeah.
However it goes, and you already know you're strong. You already know what you're capable of. So you just execute. All the work has already been done in training by the time this day rolls around. In terms of also entering in 2024
Yeah.
and now entering 2025, when you were coming in 2024, did you have
Yeah.
any idea this is how your year would end?
Um I'd be lying if I say I didn't. Like,
Really?
because
Like this is what were you thinking? You were thinking, I'll figure out a way, or what were you
because
thinking?
like because even then like I think with regarding like because I literally had my calendar thing set for Sheffield literally back last year since like I think since when
You
Cali did
compete?
it. No, I'm being dead serious. I had it because I think when Cali did it as a because obviously me and Cali had went face head to head in Worlds. We get running back at Euros. Obviously him going to Sheffield, I was still dealing with injuries. I was like, damn, like he's gone all this way, done all these things. Like super amazing. I was super happy for him. I was like, yo, but like I'm still dealing with injuries. I've not really got to showcase what I've been doing. I was like, I'm seeing Cali doing this. I'm like, yo, I need to like. So I've had that in my literally countdown since then that I'm going to go to Sheffield. So everything with so that's why I was probably like pushing to try and go to Worlds, trying to like even when I had the weight thing, I was trying to like figure out a way to go because I really wanted to do this. So it's like, and obviously I'd had like all my numbers planned out like literally a year ago, like where I need to be hitting. So like all these meets are kind of milestones. So like with the Arnold prep and all that stuff, I literally had all these numbers written in for like a good year and a bit. I'm just working backwards from what I thought I'd be. So like even with like, oh, the 900 is like, it's stuff I've kind of written out already. So it's like I'm just kind of following like the pre-planned plan for myself and just kind of seeing where things end up. So I'm not surprised it's happened. It's just more so the way it's happened is not how I thought it'd be. I think
See,
Do you know what I mean? Like
That's
the way like not getting to go to Worlds is one because I thought like a cool like it'd be probably got selections, then it'll be Worlds, then it'll be okay, cool, get my Sheffield invite, I get to prep for Sheffield. So I was thinking, okay, cool, get selections, I'll have Euros, maybe not Euros, Worlds, and then it'll be like I've got loads of time to prep for this. I didn't think I'd have to do Arnold's, Westerns, like I didn't think it'd be no world record, done world record. I
yeah.
didn't think like I didn't the whole way it's gone is not how I thought it'd be. So I think the process has been kind of the same. It's most of the journey has been a lot different. But I think I'm not super surprised on where I've ended up, like in terms of numbers wise, because I've had this in for a minute. It's just the kind of way it's happened. It's just like, dude, what the hell? Yeah.
It's honestly better this way. In bigger picture for everybody, the fact that Jurins beat Russ at Worlds and had that huge magical moment made the Battle of Sheffield 83s initially, when it was just Jurins and Russ, so heavily hyped. Everybody's going to pay attention to it now because Jurins beat Russ, and Jurins had to be there, and Jurins had to do it to make that happen. And then on top of that, you making it the way you did with, is it a record? Is it not a record? Is it the back and forth like 6 times? I've never seen anything like it. And to your point,
Yeah, dude, stressful,
yeah,
man.
I've never seen anything like it. It was official 6 times. And
Yeah.
the discussion that wrapped around that, how many people weighed in on it? It made it a huge talking point. Like records fall in powerlifting all the time. Your record became a discussion the entire community had, or it dominated the news for that week because it was on, off, on, off, on. I agree with you. It was better that way. Probably a little more stressful, but it was definitely better that way. And then the fact that it landed on it being on and now you're in, it makes when people now, like now, Bob pulling out and Bob's like, you got to throw an Ade. And everybody's like, is it Ade? Is it? It becomes like, because we're whispering, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? And then when it's announced, it's you. It's like, oh, it's him. It's bigger. It was bigger for you. It gave the spotlight to Russ and Jurins, and we had that big showdown picture that we had at Worlds and the whole rematch. Perfect. If you got announced at that moment, it would have took away from the rematch and took away. It would be too complicated. The story's too complicated. You need to tell the story. A good writer writing a story would be like, hold the Ade piece, hold that piece for a later chapter. It clouds too much. Let's just have Jurins Russ. And they focus on that moment, all the pictures being taken, who will win the rematch. Now let's add the Ade piece. Oh, just when you thought it
I
couldn't
was
get better.
expecting this.
You know what I mean? It actually
Yeah,
did
yeah.
work better. It actually did. And Tim Monigatti as well, doing what he did at Nationals.
Yeah,
Thank
Tim
God.
came out of nowhere. Like Tim as well. Like Tim, I
And
literally,
nowhere.
the move to 70 from 74 to 8. I couldn't have called that. I didn't even know
Yeah.
that was being cooked up. That makes it even
Yeah.
sweeter as well. Yeah, dude,
I'm
fucking
glad
hell.
for it. I'm glad for Tim's participation, and I'm glad Tim actually posted up 845.5 at a light body weight. Thank God. Because that would win worlds. That would have won worlds. Like at least like he's in there. He's not just happy to be here. It's like, no, I'm gonna participate. I'm a sleeper. I think somewhere, I swear to God, either I read someone saying it or someone saying he said it, that he's projecting around 870 if he could fill out 83, etc. But I'm don't quote me on that, but that's what someone was telling me. Either, but I
I
mean,
can
if he
see it
does,
because like
God bless.
because he has the same breakdown as Jurins. Like him and Jurins are literally nine. They have the same attempts. So like wherever roughly Jurins hits, Tim's gonna probably hit or for the same sort of split. Because he squatted 310, so is Jurins. He bench 185, so is Jurins. 350. Granted, Jurins probably has more on deadlift. That's the only thing. But they'll probably be evenly matched, like subtotal wise, till deadlifts. So I can see it.
Or Tim is one guy I have a difficult time projecting his numbers because I didn't think he would have 845.5 that quickly. I didn't think I was gonna have that. I'm gonna admit that shocked me. And like what the fuck? Where were you, sir? Like why you should never well, I was about to say you should never have left 83. However, medaling at worlds in two different weight classes is a pretty cool accolade, and not many people ever do that. So
Yeah.
maybe it was worth it. It's quite the resume, but yeah, him coming in like this is pretty wild. When you found out that you were going to Sheffield, like officially found out and you
Yeah.
got the invite, what were you thinking? What were your thoughts? What were you?
What was I doing? What's going on? Nah, because it was more so like I think I just had like a chat about it, and it was like, "Yo, you free?" I was like, "Yeah, cool." Had a chat about it. I was like, "What?" I was just like, "Dude, okay." So I had to be like super calm. I was like, "It's good. I'm happy, man. I'm able to do this. Yeah, let's do this." And after I end it, I call. I'm like, as my mum, I'm like, "Mom, I'm going Sheffield." I'm like, "What?" I'm going crazy. So I was like, "Oh no way!" And then like I told my girlfriend that I was doing it, and then I was like,
You broke up with
super
her.
happy.
You're
And then
like,
she
Babe, we're done. I got like 4 girlfriends now. We're done.
that should kill me.
You live with her. You're like, you live with her. You're like, move out right now. I need my space. You hold me back.
But nah, she'd kill me for sure. She's like, "What do you mean we're done? I've been in from the beginning. You ain't gone anywhere." But nah, she was super happy as well for me. And then like obviously because she knew how much I wanted to do it as well. So it was just yeah, man, I was just super, super happy. But I think obviously my reaction towards it, I think when I got told I was very like I played it cool, like yes, it's cool, man. I'd love to do it. But afterwards
You
I was
you were
like,
you were like, let me see what I'm doing on that weekend. What is that? The 28th? Let me take a look. And you
yeah, free. Yeah.
let me get back to you if I'm gonna let me see.
Oh, have you seen the? Oh, I don't know if I should even use this one, but do you know what? Because it's just because who it is. It was like P Diddy or everything that's going on with him right now. But
Yeah.
there was, and he's like, where are we going with this? But he's like, I think it was like a meme where he was like, he got off the phone. I think he just closed the deal, and he starts losing his shit after the thing. He's like, I'm a savage. Oh yeah. He's basically one of those ways. Like he switches from like, yeah, man, that's all good. Yeah, I'd love to do this. Hangs the call. He's like,
You punch in the air
oh
like, yes, yes. Like you just won the lottery.
yeah, basically one of those. But it was like, yeah.
I mean, it's a fantastic story, man. I can't wait to see this battle. It's literally flip a coin. You could be talked into so many different ways of how this is going to play out. The biggest advantage, though, in a battle this close, I've said it before, but it's true, having the biggest deadlift and having the last say. And that's unless Jurins got a crazy, and God knows Jurins' deadlift has been moving. It'll be you who pulls last. It should
Yeah.
be you who pulls last. I'd be shocked if it wasn't. And I mean, your deadlift is getting your last deadlift at Western, so there was room. You have more in the tank there. Like your deadlift, I don't know where the top end of your deadlift is. It's not quite in a horror level, but we're getting kind of close, aren't we?
Yeah,
What's going on here?
I think if the prep goes the way I planned it to go, like I think I should try. I should not try. Like the plan is to load the world record, and then we'll kind of
Oh my gosh.
yeah, we'll kind of see where it goes from there. Because I need that to tick off the 900 bucks. So like, if I don't hit it, then it's not happening. But I think if I can have decent enough prep, I think it's good enough to load it. Because I was thinking my number's going to be around that anyway. Going into Westerns, just didn't have the consecutive blocks to give myself confidence to want to load it. But I think if I can have those consecutive blocks where I hit my numbers that I planned, I'm going to load this. So it's pretty much just like, yeah, seeing where things go. But yeah, in terms of Enna level, yeah, Enna's one is just, that's a whole different story.
Well, you're
Yeah.
getting close, man. I don't know, like your deadlift. I don't think it's all like N is a deadlift demon for sure, but your deadlift's getting freaking close with the
It's
numbers
getting
you're talking
close.
about.
It's getting close, but I think the way I look at it is like, I think in terms of like, because I am breaking 400 off the ground. Like, I'm not there.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah,
But
you
380,
broke 405. That's
that's what
crazy.
I'm saying. So I think like ceiling wise is obviously higher, but I think 380, that's a good number where I think I can do that. Like, that's not super crazy in terms of progress I'm
Yes, it
making.
is.
I think it's
But
like,
yeah,
what do you say? He's like, that's
yes, it
crazy.
is crazy. Yes, it is crazy. But still, I know what you mean.
Yeah, looking at it from like how my prep's gone, like I think even like looking at my last 3 meets, I can obviously like run down how progress has been my last like 3 meets. So I think in terms of like, cause I mapped into like my like sets of 5 for deadlift. I think it's been 287, then it's been 305, then it's been 320. If I can do 332 for set 5, I'll let you know when I hit that, obviously. But if I hit that, if you see that set of 5 for me, just know 380 is there.
Oh, shit.
That's there. but that's kind of it.
That's gonna be wild, man. I yeah, I mean this it's already sold out. It was sold out so well in advance. I got people
Yeah.
in my freaking DMs who are like, if you can get your hands on a ticket, I'm like, my man, you know how many people have DM me for that? Like, if I can, well, I'm not turning
Well,
into a scalper now. I'm not turning into like it is what it is. I can't really help anybody at this point. I don't know how you're gonna get people are gonna get their hands on freaking tickets, man.
yeah, it's gonna be
It's
because this is the thing. I know a couple people like asked if I know. I'm like, I do have no idea because like there's only
good luck.
dude. I have no idea how you'll get it because you're gonna have to probably buy it off resellers, that kind of thing.
Have to. I
Yeah,
wonder if people are literally buying tickets and loading up like 25% on the top and like week
100%.
got
Yeah,
to, right?
100%. Now, but the thing is, the fact that it's now in powerlifting is crazy.
I was just about to say
Yeah,
again, that's something I'm used to in other sports, not powerlifting.
yeah. But I can because like I think with the level of hype into this one, like has gonna happen for sure. Like someone's adding like the tickets might be 100, it's gonna be 150, and someone's gonna pay it. So
No
it's like,
question. No
yeah,
question. Yeah, this one's going to be wild. Who else? What other showdowns? I know you're probably not going to be able to enjoy other showdowns because you're going to be in the middle of your own. But if you watch this bad boy back leading into this, what are some of the other performances and showdowns you're getting interested in?
performances. I think bar obviously my own obviously in the rest bar my own would be Kajel's. So I say
Oh yeah.
Kajel, then it'd be where Ash and Perk end up. But that's more for personal reasons. That's because I want to know. And then I think
Mm,
Ash and Perk, I'd want to see those two as well. Because in terms of weight class battles, there's 93s, but it's just Emil and Gustav. And I
yeah.
think it's mostly just it'll be like more of a replay from it's like the thing with like Jurins and Russ. It's like Emil and Gustav. Like obviously that one is obviously with him locking this deadlift. I think like it cool. He would have won that. So I think I'm not. I'm excited for it, but I think in terms of pick my favorite to be Kajel's performance number one, and then Ash and Perk where they end up too.
What about on the women's side? She is. Did you see what Agata Shiko did at Girl Power?
Yeah, I've not had a chance to fully watch it yet.
I didn't. I just saw the highlights. Dog, that's insane. She was 71 point something kilos too. She's not even a real 76. She's a water cut away from being a 69. She could win this all over again. If she just took the 69 to 600 kilos, she just did 622 and a half or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Was it 622 and a half or my,
I think it's
or is
six
it
twenty
more?
seven. I
Was
think it
it
was 627.
27? Yeah.
I've not had a chance to watch it yet. I just seen this like earlier today. I was like, I need to actually go back and watch that. Um,
627. Dude, she's a water cut away from 69. She did 627. That's insane. Agata is she's the queen. First off, I think she's the queen of powerlifting. I can't wait to see what she does at Worlds. And her at 71 kilo body weight, doing 627. Amanda Lawrence as an 84 is doing 647. It's her top end. Initially, it was like, no, it for Agata to eventually go to 84 would be too much. I don't think so anymore. I don't think so anymore. This is actually, Amanda was like, I want a showdown.
this could
You're
be
going to
it.
get one. You're going to get one, my friend. Now, first, Agata wants to, she told me, I'm going to have her on the podcast to talk about it, but go Sheffield, destroy Sheffield, go Worlds, take the 69 kilo world title. So she has two weight classes, and nobody has ever won three weight classes, men or women. Men or women. Nobody's ever won three world titles, three different weight classes. Agata
Okay,
wants to be the first.
so
She does that, my man.
26.
That's a wrap, son. That she's the goat, as far as I'm concerned.
So wait, I'm guessing she wants to go. She wants to go 76 next, and then it'll be 84.
No, so she has the 76 kilo world title. She never won the 69 kilo world title. She took the world record at Sheffield. So what she's got to do that, she
Just
has to do Sheffield 69, World 69, and then
go back up.
float up to 84. And her winning the 76 kilo title was against a monster in Carlina. If she takes a 69 kilo title, it'll be against like Agara, who's won world titles in equipment, out of equipment, multiple weight classes, world games, like a monster legend. And then if she goes to 84, Amanda Lawrence, who's probably the GOAT. So it's freaking, if she pulls this off, for me, it's Agata who's the GOAT. It's amazing. I don't know if we'll ever see an athlete who could bounce around three different weight classes, taking titles, and just in the
Everybody.
quality, and they're all like nobody was soft. Like she had to beat Leah Babwa and Kurolagara last Sheffield in that showdown. Like they're all stacked weight classes. You know, some weight classes are a little soft, like they don't
Yeah,
have deep opposition. That's not the case either. They're all killers. So, anyways, I'm super high on Agata right now, and I think Agata's she if she pulls off her quest, three world titles, three weight classes, God bless, man. That's amazing.
I'm trying to think like I know what you mean in terms of like different weight classes. I was trying to think of an example like with even like from yeah, do you know Connor? I know you can follow MMA too much,
Oh yeah,
but like with you can obviously make the argument for like with Conor McGregor and obviously like how he won his two world championships, where you can make the argument that like it's the division wasn't as stacked as let's say how what's his name Pereira won his, where it's
mm.
like who he's going up against, like so with so you can obviously with Agatha's one it's like everyone she's going against is like these are like champs like I've done this for a while, like you're not going against like someone who's just won it once or someone who's like who just kind of won but there was no one else really there that year.
Mm.
You've come in like this is someone who's won this year after year, you're like beating the person who's the guy and you're doing it for your class, going down doing it, going up and doing it. It's like yo, like I'm taking everybody.
And not only that, the weight classes in boxing and MMA aren't as spread apart, whereas the weight classes in powerlifting are freaking spread apart. That's why it's way more difficult to do it in powerlifting. Because like to go from 83 kilos to 93 kilos, that's 10 kilos. That's 22 pounds. That's a significant change in body weight. To do a spread of three weight classes, 74, 83, 93, you're jumping. That's an insane amount of body weight difference. To be able to do this in powerlifting is incredible. And that's why I was telling Agata. So she doesn't obviously doesn't have to fill out 84. Maybe she does, who knows where she ends up. But I was telling Agata, if you can pull this off, this may never happen again, or if it does happen again, it won't happen for like decades. You'll be remembered for decades. People will, when it eventually does happen again in like 20 years, they're
You'll
going
be
to have to
forward.
look back. They're going to bring you back up all over again. And be like, you know, the last time we saw this was 20 years ago. Like that's where it's going to be. That's how hard it is. On the men's side, look at 93 to 105. That's 12-kilo difference. It's insane. This kind of stuff never happens. That's why I was telling Agata, you have to go down to 69 and take that title and then go after Amanda. That's how you do it. Because if you can do it, if you pull that off, I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever see that again. And Agata is special enough; she might be able to do it.
Well, I think this kind of shows she can do it.
Well, it's
Yeah,
possible. It's possible. The thing is, Amanda Lawrence is the end boss, and that is quite the daunting end boss to be waiting for you. You know, oh my
yeah.
god, dude, I can't wait.
Me, but yeah, that's like, but that's again, that's not another like, that's for another good maybe year or two before we see that one. I
Yeah,
think.
no, that's 2026, 2026. That's
Yeah,
2026. 2025 will be her run through 69 proper, taking the world title. 2020, but it'll be like a good little preview of like how big can her total get at a light body weight? Because then you start doing the math. Okay, when she goes 84, her total is gonna freaking
because
God
she just
knows
even
where
needs
it'll
to
end
fill
up.
it out. She just needs to get halfway through a
80. That's what I think too.
no.
I think if she gets to 80 and just chill there, because if she goes too much, I was joking around with her last Sheffield. I'm like, you're gonna end up a freaking 84 plus at some point. Like, your subtotal will be amazing, but your deadlift will be gone.
It just
Like, but and she's like, I do it. Like she's an animal. But yeah, there's a limit. Oh, like if she pulls that off though, you want to talk about having nowhere else to go. She'll have done everything. It's kind of like, all right, what am I doing here? Now what do I do? Like what?
you just retire, call it a day.
You
I'm done.
almost might, except it'd be a shame to not. continue to have moments, continue to make money at Sheffield, continue, and God knows what else pops up, opportunities. Do you see Nike's got a bar now
Oh,
out? And
oh yeah, yeah, that, yeah. Now I've seen that. I'm like, because I think, but also I think maybe Nike, Adidas has shown an interest as well. But it's like, how do you even contact these guys? You just kind of like wait till they reach out to you. Because I've seen the power bar, but my only thing with the power bar is I don't know if the specs are like as broadcasters like the Rogue, the Eleiko. Obviously, I know they showed an interest, but is it like they're actually going to gear towards powerlifters, or they're just going to gear towards like CrossFit,
hmm,
Olympic weightlifting? Are they going to gear really towards this? Because I know they have what's his name? Is it Nick? No, Dan Gribbs doing the
Dan
promo
Griggs, yeah.
for it. Obviously, like well respected, like powerlifter. But is it like is the bar going to be like actually directed towards powerlifters, or just kind of are they just kind of using this for promo, but not actually getting the equipment towards us? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's a good point. Like, are they actually going in on powerlifting or just strength sports in general? And whoever, if it's CrossFit or strongman, or you just want to lift, yeah. I'm not sure. And to your first question about like, do they reach out to you? They'll probably reach out to you, but this is where it kind of doubles back to what we were talking about Bob. And he doesn't care about this kind of thing, so that's fine. But like for other people, doing events like Sheffield is how you're going to get noticed for these companies to reach out to you. Sheffield is an event that when I listen to boxing and MMA podcasts, they talk about it. Like, did you hear about Sheffield? And they'll talk about Sheffield. Sheffield is an event because it's one day, very easy to digest. It's one session. You just boom, it's over. It's all action. If you want to get noticed, especially in this era, all of these companies are now starting to pay attention. If anyone's going to get their shoulder tapped and be like, "Excuse me, sir, let's work together. Can we have a conversation?" How does that happen? You have to show up at these events and put on a freaking show. You're in an opportunity where you're probably in the most heavily hyped showdown of all of them. We've never seen four head to heads like this ever. Perfect setup, my friend. And if you end up doing 900 kilos, whether it's Sheffield or you do it at Worlds or whatever you do it on whatever stage, perfect. Keep doing what no one else has done, be in relevant showdowns, break new barriers at the biggest stages, which is World Championship Sheffield. These companies, if they're paying attention, and we assume they are, if they're starting to put money behind it, we're assuming they're looking and paying attention to who's who. They're going to see you, and they'll, to answer your question, they'll contact you. I'm pretty sure.
They'll get us. Like I think with it's similar to how Gym Sharks were moving as well. I think because they had their little peaks of it, and then they like went full on like let's like grabbing people like Cranon, with Jamal, like start grabbing a few people. I think probably be the same, but again with Nike because they're so big and like the way they've kind of done it is kind of like it's like a little glimpse, but I'm not fully sold yet on them. I think they kind of have to like if they drop knee sleeves, okay, cool.
They're all in. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know. Yeah, I got no idea which way they're going to run it. If they're going to do like equipment, if they're like they have a bar they went into, if they're actually going to do shoes, like or because that's what they normally do, or if they're going to do knee sleeve, that seems wild because that's not how I picture Nike. But I don't know. Who the frick knows? I got no
yeah.
idea. Right?
They've done the weightlifting stuff, like, but if they do something like tailored for us, then it's like, okay, cool. Like they really want to like because then it's like they'll need like a showman. They're the face of the brand for that like section. Um, so but yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. But it's looking real promising because I also had the Supreme. I don't know if you like follow like streetwear stuff, but Supreme did a collab with I forget her name because like it's why but they did like they had like Supreme weightlifting plates, and I was like, dude,
Hmm.
what the hell is this? Like this is crazy. Like Supreme's doing this.
If I've learned anything, what is happening right now, the climate that you feel now will not be the future. It always changes, and it always things just keep moving, rumbling forward. And things that you think would not happen and wouldn't be on the table 5 years later are absolutely happening and are on the table. So who knows? I don't know. We just do your best. Keep keep answering the door and picking up those phone calls. And when you get that phone call like you're in, you're like, this is an opportunity. Let me end up on someone's radar. Let somebody find out about me. Here we go. Here's my coming out party. Everyone's gonna see me now. And we'll see what happens, man. It's exciting times.
Yeah,
But
man. I need one of those Supreme plates, man. I've been saying if they ever release them, I'm getting some. Just get two, put in the garage. I'm like my kids
it
be like,
doesn't matter the weight. It doesn't matter what weight they are. They're always on the outside,
just
or
be
they're
like,
always on the inside. They'll always be visible.
just at the edge, so you know what they are. It's like they
Yeah,
could even be fake. Who cares? I'm loading them on.
yeah. They got to be out there. Just in case Nike's scrolling through your Instagram and they're like, "Oh, he uses our plates." All right. Yeah. And on the women's side, Elba got given the alternate spot, or like she's in on the roster now, and kind of the same deal happening in 83s, slightly lesser. There's only three of them, but absolutely fantastic showdown between those three ladies. Leah Bavois, who is two weight class world champ, former 63 world champ, Megan, who's the current open world champ, and Alba, who's the current junior world champ that totaled more than Megan at open worlds. We have a dispute. We have a dispute, my friend. We have three ladies who all are like, I'm number one. And just like in the 83s, it's all super close. It's freaking an amazing showdown. You got to strike while the iron's hot. It was between Alba or Jessica Espinal, and Jessica Espinal broke the open world record at juniors. Fantastic lifter. Love Jess. You couldn't go wrong with either Alba or Jess. But the fact that it landed with Alba, we got a sensational 63 kilo battle that's about to take place. And I don't know. I don't know who's going to win.
I'm trying to. I'm not. I'm not actually. Let me try to think of like which way do I go with this one?
Dude, you it's I would have to see their training leading in, because right now it's too close. Leah's coming back from an injury in, I mean, we're October. That's not till the end of January, almost February, right? January 28th. So much time. What Leah looks like now could be entirely different from January. So it's a little too tight right now. Alba right now looked sensational at Junior Worlds. Like she just like steamrolled everybody. She won best lifter. And her total would have won every weight class. She's a 63. It would have won the 69, it would have won the 76, it would have won the 84, and it would have podiumed at 84 plus. Like she just steamrolled people. She just absolutely steamrolled people at Junior Worlds and then took best lifter. So talk about momentum going with her. I mean, it's crazy, but we'll see, man. I'm excited. Unfortunately, you won't be able to watch it. You'll be knee deep in your own, but maybe you could double back and watch it.
No, I will be watching it back. I need to see where everything lens, man. That's like a good 3 hour. No one talk to me. I'm here watching this.
Yeah,
Let's run this
exactly.
back.
You get to relive everything and watch it as a viewer. What did this look like as a viewer, and relive it all for sure. And it's cool because it's going to be, most people's life moments don't get captured, but yours is going to get captured forever and live forever for anybody to watch. It's pretty cool.
Cool.
But listen, man, thank you for coming on the podcast. This is a relatively quick turnaround. Threw it out there. I've been waiting for the announcement, and I knew once the announcement's made, I mean, we got to talk about it, obviously. And we'll talk. We'll talk at Sheffield. I haven't talked. I'm not sure all of the content we're doing leading up to and the whole nine, but I got plans. But we're in discussion, me and SBD, and we'll see what we get sorted. But I'll see you at SBD nonetheless. And dog, congratulations first off. Talk about a year.
Roller coaster up and down.
Talk about a year, man. But yeah, I mean, this is only the beginning. 2025 is going to be live. We'll see you then, man. We'll keep in contact and talk in the DMs.
Cool, man.
And for everybody listening, as per usual, please do subscribe, give us high ratings, and until next time, 6-pack Lapadat, 6 up, and we are out.